not to be confused with the Taku arm of Tagish Lake. The Taku River is a river running from British Columbia, Canada, to the northwestern coast of North America, at Juneau, Alaska. The river basin spreads across 27,500 square kilometers. During the 18th and early 19th centuries, the Taku Indians controlled the trade routes on the river and compelled natives of the interior to use them as middlemen, instead of allowing trade directly with white settlers. The Hudson's Bay Company established a trading post called Fort Durham, also known as Fort Taku, near the mouth of the Taku River in the early 1840s to take advantage of the natural trade route. However, by 1843, Fort Durham had been abandoned as unprofitable. Although a major river, the Taku's name does not extend to its headwaters. Its name begins at the confluence of the Incline and Nikina rivers, which is the location of the tiny community of Incline. The Incline's name also only extends upstream to the confluence of the Nalan and Chesley rivers, which the Nakina's main tributaries of the Sloko and Silver Salmon rivers. On account of its name is that Takus is the Tlingit language word for salmon, but the Taku Tlingit name for themselves, Taku Kwan, translates as geese flood upriver tribe. There are also two Kwans of the Tlingit people inland in British Columbia, the Aataline Kwan and the Daisleen Kwan. The territory of the former includes those areas of the Taku Basin in British Columbia, tributaries. In addition to the Incline and Nikina rivers, from which it is formed, other tributaries of the Taku proper include the Tulsequa River. Economic value. The Taku River is an important contributor to the economies of southeast Alaska and British Columbia, especially for its commercial, sport and personal use fisheries. A detailed report released in 2004 by the McDowell Group notes $5.4 million in total U.S. commercial harvest and processing output, including 80 jobs and $1.4 million in labor income. British Columbia added over $750,000 more. Other activities, including commercial air-guided river excursions, hunting and property taxes, added still more to the general regional economy. The report mentioned above estimated the annual economic impact from all activities on the Taku River to be $26.7 million, most of it, about $18 million, from commercial air activity directly related to tourism. The Taku is the southeast Alaska's top salmon-producing river. Data from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game notes that nearly 2 million wild salmon return to the river annually, including up to 100,000 Chinook salmon, 350,000 sockeye salmon and 400,000 coho salmon, 50,000 chum salmon, and 1 million pink salmon. Beyond its bounty of salmon, the Taku is home to 8 other fish species, including steelhead, dual trout, dolly varden chai, rainbow trout, lake trout, Arctic grayling, whitefish, and southeast Alaska's largest population of cutthroat trout. In addition, hooligans, crab, shrimp and halibut are harvested at or near the river's mouth. That marine wealth supports major sport, commercial and tribal fisheries in Alaska and British Columbia. Flooding history. Periodically, the Taku River reaches flood stage or above. Records of the Advanced Hydrologic Prediction Service, a branch of the National Weather Service, show that in the last 2 decades the river crested above 43 feet 6 times. The highest level reached in that period was 45.07 feet on June 25, 2004. As of August 12, 2009, the highest registered level for 2009 occurred on July 24 when the river crested at 43.17 feet. More information is available at the AHPS website. Also see *http *Taku.com Taku River floods, htm habitat protection efforts, past mining activity and the potential for future mining on the Canadian side of the border led the state of Alaska to take recent habitat protection steps. In January 2009, the Alaska Department of Natural Resources Division of Coastal and Ocean Management approved a request from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game to designate the entire U.S. portion of the Taku River as important habitat, a designation that put the stretch of river within the purview of protective provisions in Alaska law that require those applying for certain river use permits avoid, minimize, or mitigate significant adverse impacts to the special productivity of the habitat. Quote, in February, the director of the division rescinded the designation for a portion of the U.S. river below the Canadian border. The important habitat designation remains in place, however, for a 16-mile section beginning at the river's mouth near Juneau, Alaska. Several organizations are working to win further habitat conservation protections for the river, including Rivers Without Borders and the Alaska Marine Conservation Council. News. Juneau Empire. Opinion. My turn. Palin should seize Taku opportunity. Juneau Empire. Story. Palin urges Canadians to address mines acid drainage. Juneau Empire. Story. Bridging the gap. Conservation and commercial fishing. Juneau Empire. Story. Taku River flooding could near record. The Globe Mail column. Palin's parting words to B.C. Don't spill baby, don't spill. Yukon News, July 31, 2009. Story. Red Corp's bankruptcy threatens salmon-rich Taku. Juneau Empire. Story. Spawning ground stock derby catch. State biologists collect salmon data with fish wheels, spaghetti tags. Juneau Empire. Opinion. Letter. Parnell should make Taku River a priority. http *Taku.com River News. htm